your Uncle Bilbo. Every year on September 22nd, we celebrate Hobbit Day. Lord of the Rings has been a large part of mine and my husband's life since long before we knew each other. They were favorite bedtime stories, favorite movies, favorite games to play. When I was 13, I was running around pretending to be a hobbit under the huckleberry bushes and leaping through the woods pretending to be an elf, or practicing archery and hoping that someday I could be as good of an aim as Legolas. On our first date, my husband told me he would not marry a girl unless she liked Lord of the Rings, and his brother had at the time told him that would probably be impossible to find. But then he found me, the girl with the Arwen necklace, whose favorite costume was that of an elf, and the rest is history. We started celebrating Hobbit Day about 8 or 9 years ago when our oldest kids were very young, and every year it has gotten more and more involved. If you have been around for a little while, you have seen my old Hobbit Day videos, and I really wanted to do something as special as those were, but as I have mentioned, I did injure my ankle, so this time we're going to focus on the food, just like any good hobbit would do. Breakfast was a full English, which is sausage, eggs, bacon, mushrooms, fried tomatoes, and toast. If you are not familiar with hobbits or Lord of the Rings, then you may not know they eat 7 meals a day, and that includes first breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper. I did originally plan to have the meals look a little bit different from how they turned out on the day, but we did eat everything that I had planned. I just had to rearrange a few of the meals to better accommodate what I could do on this day. Speaking of the menu, I had printed out a very cute little graphic, which I will share over on my Ko-Fi for anyone interested, and you can see it here attached to a canvas. Once I put it on, I realized that it was too big, and I didn't really like the way the Hobbit house looked, so I decided to paint my own. I used a little bit of Mod Podge to attach the menu portion to my canvas, and I ripped off the Hobbit house, which I didn't love, and used it as a template for a new one. I am not very good at hand lettering, which is why I didn't attempt to paint my letters. Instead, Mod Podge does the trick. I did my best to match the color of the printed menu, and as you can see, it's a little darker, but I will fix that in a minute. Planning the Hobbit menu is always one of my favorite things to do every year. Planning the Hobbit menu is one of my favorite things to do every year, and I think I want to continue doing them like this, creating little bits of art that we can save or hang on our walls. Every year I add in new menu items, and this year I cannot wait to share the 2 new things that I tried, which turned out so incredible, and they will become a regular part of our everyday meals, not to mention our Hobbit Day celebrations. I used acrylic paint for this, and I am a pretty impatient artist, so I didn't fully let everything dry before I painted on a new layer. If you try this at home, it is best to let your paint dry before you paint on top of it, but I do like the effect it gives sometimes when the paints meld a little bit when they're both damp. Sometimes I think I should just paint myself some seasonal Hobbit holes. One for spring, one for summer, one for autumn, and one for winter. I think those would make really cute wall hangings. And once I had the menu fully finished, I had my plan for the day. Speaking of planning, I want to take a break and talk about the sponsor of today's video, who is Skylight Calendar. Skylight Calendar is a smart touchscreen calendar that syncs events from all of the calendars your family uses, and you can add things like chores, task rewards, meal planning, and so much more. Now, you all know that I aspire to live a slower life, but even with that, as a working mom, full-time working from home, taking care of a house, and having 5 kids, I still need something to keep me on track, and Skylight Calendar has been a huge game changer for the way that I function as someone with ADHD who works for myself,
and how my family functions around the house and getting all of their things done day to day. Now, not only can I add in my own work schedule as I work from home and try to keep track of all of the deadlines of people that I work with and the videos that I want to get done and the things that I want to do, but I can also add my kids' events, their school events, their play dates, their doctor's appointments, and honestly one of my favorite things is that I can add in all of these seasonal events that I want to do. And as some of you know, not only am I neurodivergent, but I also have an autistic kid, and Skylight has been incredibly helpful for her in keeping on track and avoiding meltdowns, especially on school mornings. She has a very natural drive to be independent and for her own autonomy, and so Skylight Calendar has come in and been the hero in making it so that not only can she make her own task list for the morning, she can check it off and she can earn prizes for getting to school on time and getting everything done that she needs to do in the morning. It is just now all in her hands what she has to do, how she does it, what order she wants to do it in, and she can make it pink, which is her favorite color, so she loves it. Aside from tasks and calendar functions, Skylight also offers Skylight Plus, which has amazing features like task rewards, photos, Sidekick, which is a magical assistant that will import all of your events from like emails that you might get, and menu planning, which is super helpful. My kids especially love the task rewards where they can earn things like ice cream, money, TV time, Nintendo Switch time, whatever, for all of the tasks that they have done, and they can add rewards they would like to earn. We also really love it for adding photos from the outings that we go to, so it is so easy to just upload it straight from our phone to the Skylight Calendar, and then whenever it shuts down we get to see a beautiful collage of all of the things that we've been doing over the summer and the beginning of the school year. So if you are a busy parent who needs a digital assistant to keep track of all of your family events, or maybe you work for yourself and you need a little digital assistant to keep track of all of your work timelines, Skylight Calendar could be the thing for you. If you would like to try Skylight Calendar for yourself, you can scan the QR code which is on the screen, or check out my link below and use Kristina30 for $30 off of your 15-inch Skylight Calendar. Thanks again to Skylight Calendar for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into Hobbit Day.
After we had first breakfast, I went ahead and got started on dinner because I wanted to make a beef stew which would sit in the crock pot all day. Like I said, I injured my ankle, so I tried to have meals that would be fairly easy to put together and didn't require a whole lot of cooking work because I didn't want to just be standing in the kitchen all day. For dinner, I planned a beef stew and a butternut squash and goat cheese tart, which I cooked on a previous day and you will see later. I will link all of the recipes that I used down in my description. Quite a few of them came from the blog Rhubarb and Lavender, who have an entire section of just Lord of the Rings meals, and both of the recipes I tried from that blog turned out so good. I definitely plan to utilize them again. Crockpot stew or soup is one of my favorite things to make in the autumn, so I was really excited to try this. I can't believe it, but it is the first beef stew I've ever made in the crockpot. Usually I'm making chicken soup.
Do that wrong. There's no reason not to. She's like, oh, do yourself like that with the characters. Blocking the light.
With dinner prepared, It was time for second breakfast and gifts from Uncle Bilbo. I completely forgot to film second breakfast, which was Bilbo's seed cake, and my husband made it, and it was so good that the kids ate it pretty much immediately. A new tradition my husband started this year is giving a present to everyone. This is a traditional Hobbit thing to do. Instead of receiving presents on your birthday, you give them to other people. So every kid got a present, and it was so much fun. To Irene from your Uncle Bilbo to keep you cozy on cold days. The gifts were entirely my husband's idea, and he picked all of them except for one. Oh, you gotta pull out the little thing.
It says right here on this paper.
Oh, it lights up!
No, it's cool. Ooh, that's gonna take a while to build.
I don't have to throw it into the fire.
You hold
do
it
I?
up. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
That's really pretty.
Maybe not.
The only present he did not purchase was the one that I got for him because I didn't want him to feel left out in the gift giving. It is a hobbit hole, but it was not licensed, so they called it a dwarf cabin, which I thought was hilarious.
We got nowhere to be, just a slow dance with the summer heat.
After presents, I got started on 11sies, which was pumpkin rolls with spiced butter.
We got nothing else to do.
This is the first of the two recipes I got from Rhubarb and Lavender, and they turned out so incredible and so easy to make.
Your hands still tangled up in mine. Feet on the wall, your head on.
The butter had brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, cloves, and ginger in it. And it was the perfect autumnal flavored topping to go on the hot pumpkin rolls.
Your hair's a mess, but you don't mind.
I cannot get over how beautiful these rolls turned out.
Coffee's cold, but we take a sip. Talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels.
After 11sies, we took a little break to watch Lord of the Rings. We started with The Hobbit, but after a while, I have to admit, we got tired of it and switched over to The Fellowship of the Ring.
Like a love song.
I also decided to read a very hobbity book, which is called The Field Guide to Fungi, and it is a lovely illustrated book about mushrooms, which I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that.
And then, while my husband started on his quote-unquote dwarf cabin, which, you know, is really a hobbit hole, I played Tales of the Shire. I mentioned this in another video, but I have been loving this game. It is such a cute, relaxing, cozy game, and it was the perfect way to spend the early afternoon resting after all of that cooking for breakfast and lunch and 11sies and dinner.
On the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that.
Once it was time to have luncheon, I decided to change up the table setting and try to put together what I had to make a pretty hobbity table. I started with this beautiful autumnal toned tablecloth that I've had for a couple years, and then I added some plates I thrifted, which are from the 1960s. I think they're so pretty, and I wish I had the whole set. They have dogwood flowers on them that are pink, and they are rimmed in gold, and they are just so lovely. I added the new napkins I got from Home Goods in my last video, and some 1960s leaf embellished cups that I thrifted. I decided to go pretty simple with the decor because I needed room for food, so I used a fake branch that I thrifted and some real little pumpkins, and that was it for decor. For luncheon, we had easy foods, which I pretty much purchased everything. There was a roasted chicken and some bread, some raspberries, some cheese, some roasted potatoes, and tomatoes. Right afterwards, we had afternoon tea outside. For this, we had homemade scones with clotted cream and jam, and a plethora of sweets on a stacked tray. I am a little sad that I completely forgot I had gotten supplies to make little sandwiches as well, but maybe next year I will remember. Regardless, it was still lovely, and my kids always love having a tea party, so they were enthralled. And of course, with a lot of cooking and a lot of eating, there is also a lot of cleanup. I am actually really proud of myself for how I kept the kitchen up this year. In past years, I have done so much cooking the day of Hobbit Day. My kitchen becomes a complete disaster by the end of the day, and it takes a few days to recover. This time, I made sure that I was washing the dishes as often as possible, and my husband came in to help so that we could get things done quickly and move on and rest and just have a good day.
Conversations fill the air. I don't ask for your name. It's already carved in.
It was so satisfying to come into the kitchen and see the big mess and get it to a fully empty sink and completely clean counters.
taking steps to keep my distance. I don't wanna fall. Am I strong enough to guide my heart away from it all? I won't call your name. It's already carved in the air. I won't light the flame. It's already burning where you are near.
A few days before Hobbit Day, I took the time to make a baked butternut squash and goat cheese tart off of rhubarb and lavender because it sounded incredible and I knew that I wouldn't have time to make it on the day of Hobbit Day. I am so glad I took this time aside to make this tart because it turned out incredible and I want to make it again and again and again.
Guard our small fragile hearts as we're softly breaking apart, afraid to give in to the stars. It opened up our hearts.
The squash gets roasted with oil and salt on it for about 30 to 40 minutes or until it is soft. And then you saute some onions and thyme and garlic to add to it later. The rest of the filling is just a goat cheese. I chose a garlic and chive goat cheese and it was the perfect combination.
Falling into the unknown. Or do we all guard our small fragile hearts as we softly break it apart, afraid to give in to the stars? It opened up our hearts.
Now, because I was filming, this did take me about 3 hours to make, and I was pretty tired by the end of it, as you can tell. But it was worth it.
Weightless, I am.
The butternut squash is layered with some goat cheese in between and then on top, and then the edges of the tart are just folded up towards the middle. Aside from the chopping, this really is a very simple recipe, which I appreciate, and maybe that's why I like Hobbit Day so much. All of the foods are simple and wholesome, easy to make, and really filling.
With every breath I draw from you, I die a million times. a shadow at most.
And with that, we've come to the last meal of the day, which is always some form of charcuterie or cheese board. My kids look forward to this one in particular because they get to pick and choose what they want, and they all really love salami and cheese. We also added in some grapes, some pickles, and some other pickled vegetables like onions and peppers. It's the perfect way to end the day. I want to take this little moment to thank Skylight Calendar again for sponsoring this video. Please do check them out, especially if you have a neurodivergent child. It has genuinely helped our days run so much smoother with our kids who are neurodivergent to have full autonomy over what they are adding to the calendar and the rewards they get to use.
Step that you take, I will give you everything, my own, but for you I will go. A shadow at
And that is it, my friends. That was our Hobbit day this year. It was a little bit more relaxed, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. As always, I hope that wherever you are feeling safe and loved, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!